Hey guys, Brett Alegre-Wood here, author of the 3+1 Plan and chairman of YPC Group, where we help you to build a thriving property portfolio so you can live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of, but in such a way that you're not creating a second job or actually working yourself into an early grave. So what I wanted to do today was we've been running the webinars now for a while, and we've compiled hundreds of questions that you guys have been asking. So I want to take those, and what I've done is I've broken them down into a number of really key questions that most of you guys are repeatedly asking. And what I've done is I want to present them to you so you get that level of education. I've always been a massive supporter of free education. And so that's what I want to do for you guys today, is really give you, I guess, what most people out there are concerned about in the market now, about property investment, about strategies, about structures, about all sorts of things, the questions that you guys have been asking. So, it's not now me telling you what you should be thinking, it's you guys actually feeding back. And I love that about the social media, and I love that about webinars. So yeah, sit back, relax, and let's get started. So one of the questions I love, and I always answer it in a couple of different ways, because I think it's important that not only do you guys understand why we do things and how that's applicable to you, but I think it's good to know, as a business, why we're making decisions, and why we make the decisions we do. So I'll answer from both those aspects. But the question is, why do YPC focus on new build and off plan? Why don't we do secondhand? Why don't we do HMOs, student lets, and all these other types of properties and lease options and things like that? And I think, the primary thing that it comes down to is it was a business decision. It's a business decision on my part. In my own portfolio, I've only ever bought new build property in the UK, okay, and Spain, in fact. Everything else has been secondhand. So when I'm in Australia, it's been secondhand. And I learnt a lot about property starting out buying in secondhand. But what I realised was that, look, I've always been an entrepreneur, so I've always had businesses. And the funny thing about businesses is you don't have the time to necessarily go out and search. And I remember that my first property, when I first bought my first property, it took me 3 months of schmoozing real estate agents that, perhaps I didn't like, or perhaps were full of ego, or it was almost like, I had to deal with these people on a regular basis, because if I wanted to get those deals, that's what I had to do, and I was out there and I was walking the streets and I was walking the pavements, finding properties. And what it meant was that all the time, it was taking time away. Now, if I was to put a value on that time, actually, it's a huge investment. And for most of you guys out there, you don't have that time. You certainly don't have the time to do it properly, because if you're going to do a strategy like that, you have to have the time to do it properly. Otherwise, you miss points, and that's where it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you even more time, or you're going to end up with a dud property. That's going to mean you're going to be waiting a long time to actually get a return on it. So as a business, the clients that I attract, and in my own life, I haven't got the time to do all this. So for me, I want a strategy, and I want a property strategy that works without having to put a lot of time in. And that is the essence of why I made the business decision to just focus on new build and off plan, okay? And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Plus, I love the fact that clients are getting a new property, it's in pristine condition. It just makes everything so much more fun, okay? As opposed to a second-hand property, in some ways I never want to pick up a paintbrush again. I've done my time, and really, I've learnt my lessons from that. So that's the first thing. The second thing, I think I've covered that, which is the time thief. Second-hand property can be a time thief. Boilers blow, all these sort of things happening. And just coming across to here, in 2010, what we did is I said, probably the middle of the year, I said, okay, let's have a look at some of this second-hand property that's probably under 5 years old, that was new build, and let's start doing some deals on that. Well, to be fair, what ended up happening was I had Karen, who runs our aftercare, Director of Client Services, saying to me that if I didn't stop selling that crap, that she would leave. Now, it wasn't the property was crap, okay? Most of the properties were fine. It's just that there were so many snagging issues, so many niggly things that needed to be fixed up, that it was taking their time away. And in the end, when we looked at it, it was actually not worth the money to sell that stuff. The emotional stress caused on the client, it just wasn't worth it. So in the end, I said, right, that's it. No more secondhand. We're just a purely focused business on new build, off plan. Let's become very, very good at that, which, to be fair, we always have been, and that's always been our specialty. And even through the recession, where every other competitor has jumped out of that market, we've continued to do it, okay? Now, maintenance, I mentioned boilers, boilers busting, we've got painting may need to be done, mould, cracks, all these sort of things happen. They don't normally happen in a new build. It's a very, it's a 1%, it's the exception rather than the rule. And so, we don't need to worry about that. The other thing is, flats and houses, what's actually happened, depending on where the property market is or property cycle, when the property market is getting near its height, then new build can be overpriced. So you've got to make sure, and particularly in the city centres, you've got to be jumping out of there. So the market now, prices on flats and houses, new build, have dropped something like 40 to 60%. That's a massive, massive drop, okay? So now we're jumping back in, and some of the prices we're buying for are absolutely ridiculous, and you're able to do that. Now, right now, you may not be getting the benefit of that or seeing the benefit of that as the market's sort of recovering. But when it starts to shoot up, that's when you're really going to see things happen with new build, and that's when you're going to see the decisions you made today, and over the next few years will really start to pay dividends. All right, so price-wise, they've come down so far. The final point I want to make was on the off-plan side, the flipping, all right? Because flipping is one of these, salesman speak, if you like. It's as a salesperson, people love using this, buy off-plan and flip before completion and make all this money. Now, that's great, and it does happen, and it will happen too. As the market starts to shoot up again, you are able to flip 100%. But you've got to watch it, because if you don't do it to the right part of the market, you can end up, rather than going like this, it goes like this, and you've lost a lot of money. Now, off plan for us, we jumped out in 2006, we've jumped back in March 2009, and we're already starting to see the results of that, okay? Now, for me, that ability to be able to flip, and that's the fourth way to make money, okay? If you're not sure of the other three ways to make money, just grab my book, jump on my website, and just type in 4 ways to make money, okay? The fourth way is flipping. So you can't get that from secondhand, okay? So it's another way to make money, and it's a great way to make money too. Especially if you understand the market, if you understand the strategy that you're applying, and the rules that apply to that, then it's great. So for me, really, it's about time. It's about set and forget. My philosophy over everything I do. Can I set it up? Can I forget about it? If I can't, which I don't get that same benefit as much with second-hand property. And look, this is going to create a bit of a storm with the second-hand people that say that. But the fact is that my guys and my investors spend less time on their portfolio, less worry, because they're buying new build property. Now look, eventually new build property becomes second-hand property. But that's where we can look at potentially selling it on or renovating the property so it gets back to a new standard. So even though we might talk about buying new property, then what we might find is 5 to 7 years later, we go in there, we rip out the kitchens and bathrooms, and we renew it so it becomes a new home again. It's a philosophy about new build. It's not just the first time you buy a property, okay? And that, that's really important to understand. And that's when you're working with us and you're talking to the portfolio managers, this is what we're going to be talking to you about how to do these sort of things and how to apply that strategy. Okay guys, thanks very much. So guys, I'm sure you found that information really valuable. The first step really now is that you need to get a plan. You need to actually work out exactly how you're going to put this in place. So what I encourage you to do is come in and sit down with us, talk to us, grab a coffee with us. And what we can do is we can actually start mapping out what your plan is. Guys, I'm looking forward to meeting you real soon at either one of our webinars or perhaps a seminar, or if you come to one of our offices around the world. Have a great day, and remember, live with passion.